it's going to be a 10-second delay.
All right. Can you hear me? All
There
right.
you go. There you go. All right, we're about to go live on Facebook in 5 seconds.
All right.
All right, if you like, you can log into your Facebook page and go to my page, and it'll show you the video if that's important to you. I'm going to mine to make sure everything looks good. Now, are you in Detroit or in California or where?
I'm in Chicago. They shoot
Oh, okay.
Empire in Chicago.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. But they portrayed it to show us in New York, though, right?
Yes, they do. Yep.
Hmm. Well, I'm going to tell you what, growing up in Detroit, I always thought they were the same thing anyway, so that's okay for me.
They are, man. People don't even know I'm not from here. I have to tell them.
Yeah. We got the same little Midwestern slang and swag, as they say.
That's true. It's true. Exactly.
All right, let's see here. Now, how long have you been in Chicago?
About 2.5 years. It'll be 3 years.
Wow, so you just got there, basically.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, what took you to Chicago, William?
Way to stop people from calling me.
What's that?
I said when people call me, I noticed that your volume goes down and theirs go up. Is there a way to stop them from calling me while we're on this interview?
To stop you from calling you. That would be on your phone settings. You have to go to Do Not Disturb. So you might want to go into your. Are you Android or iPhone?
Android.
Your Android. Okay, you can go into your settings. You can do the swipe down on your screen, and then in the top right, you should have like a little cog.
Yep.
Yep, you can click on that. And let me see here. And then when that drops down, I'm trying to see if you can go into your notifications. You know what? I don't see where you can do that. I'm looking in here. But I mean, it's okay. It's okay. Like I said, as
Yeah.
long as it's not, throwing you off too much, I'm all right with that.
Okay.
Okay,
You
so
still hear me?
yep, I can still hear you. You do
Okay.
go
Cool.
up and down a little bit as well, but like I said, that'll be okay.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
All right, let's see here. Now it's still not showing up on Facebook. This is unusual. Connecting to Facebook after going. Now, do you have your Facebook open by chance?
No, I don't, but I can.
Okay.
What do you want me to do?
What I was going to say is you can go to my page so that you can see it.
Okay. All right. I'm on your page and I don't see it.
You don't see it on there. Okay. All right, let's see here. See, this is the little silly stuff that happens. This is why we kind of do the little pre-show part because this with the technology.
Smart.
What's
That's
that?
smart man. That's
Yeah.
smart man.
And we still keep the show in a tight time frame too.
Yep.
We still hold it tight. All right, there we go. I think we're about to see it this time. Here we go. William, I think we are live now on Facebook.
Nice. It's a little thing.
All right, so I'm gonna give it about 5 seconds because it has a little delay on it just to make sure everything looks good. People see us right now and they do hear us. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Kenya Cook. This is the Infinite Mind and Self Live podcast on Facebook. My co host Richard Roundtree will be joining us shortly from California. Today we have a great opportunity to meet with an awesome and amazing person. Prior to doing that, I want to do a quick shout out this week. Richard and I normally talk about what's going on with us, so I'll just do a quick update. We had some great movement with the Black Sea Living Bitters movement. If you guys follow www.kcook1911.com, that's where we have the living bitters that are available. Also check out Limitless Strength. When Richard joins us, he'll talk a little bit about that. So that is our shameless plug. We're going to segue into our awesome guest, Mr. William Smith. William, welcome to Live. How are you today?
I'm doing really good, sir. How are you?
Hey, I am fantastic. You had a great week.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
You had a world premiere and a firing all in 15 seconds.
Exactly. That's crazy. That's
Man,
crazy.
As many times as I watched that clip, and I might play it later on, I always look at the one character, Boris Kojo's wife, when they were talking to you about, you take your kids to Walt Disney, your kids enjoy Disney, and she was like, yeah, Disney's nice, Disney's real cool, and then he was like, you're fired. She was like,
Exactly.
you're like, oh. I was like, this didn't go the direction I thought it was going to go in.
Right.
That is awesome. So let's back up a little bit before we go into you. How did you get that opportunity on Empire?
Well, I actually, when I'm from Detroit, and when I lived in Detroit, people was always calling me Terrence. If they didn't know my name, they would say, "Hey, Terrence, how you doing, Terrence Howard?" Stuff like that. And so they had, since Empire started, the first season, people was always saying, "You need to go and try to be a stand-in or a photo double for Terrence Howard." But I was married with kids, working a great job in Detroit at the casino, and so I never planned to leave that. I'm like, why would I leave my family to do that? You know what I'm saying? And I was a lot older, so that was just not something I was going to do. But some things happened in my life. I had some changes and this opportunity kind of opened up. They asked me again, and I went for it. So.
Wow. So you just jumped out there. Now that I'm looking at you, I definitely see the resemblance between you and Terrence.
Oh yeah, and I shaved my face for the role, but really, when I have my facial hair, we really look alike.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow. Well, now we saw what kind of got you there. Let's dig down a little bit more into what got you there. And
Okay.
one of the things that I think is important is how we start our day out, how we plan, how we build up the motivation so we can take the leap of faith into our careers or into our dreams. You talked about what you did before you took your leap of faith. Like for myself, I started out working at Ford Motor Company when I was 22, 23 years old. When I left Ford to follow my dream, everybody thought I was crazy, so it was kind of like for me, I was looking for an inner peace. I was looking for something that said, even though we're at 24, working at Ford, making $72,000 a year, I didn't have an inner peace. I didn't feel like when I woke up in the morning, I had purpose and drive. What did it for me was I had the opportunity to do some things in media and education that sparked me. So what was kind of that defining moment, or what kind of really led you to take that leap of faith?
Well, I had. Well, let me say it like this. I turned 48 this month. So
okay. Happy birthday.
I got married at. Oh yeah, I got married at 19, and so I was raising kids and married. And
Wow.
I had a dream, even before I got married, I was doing plays. I don't know if people remember way back with Mike Matthews, with Mama Don't, what was it, Mama Don't and Wicked Ways. I was a part of those plays. So this is way back in the 80s and stuff
Wow.
like that. And so in the early 90s. And so, but I got married around 91. And then, and I automatically had a son, and I had 4 kids, and so I'm still doing my plays, writing my own plays. I did a Coleman Young play and a couple gospel plays that I wrote and produced and directed myself, but I couldn't really focus on them like I wanted to because I had to go to work to take care of his wife and kids. And so it was hard to do that. I really couldn't put my all into it. I had to go to work. And eventually I'm working like 3 jobs at a time. And so, still trying to pursue my dreams, but my kids getting older, they need more stuff. So I really just got into raising my family and let this time go. But eventually I ended up getting a divorce, and it shocked it broke my world. I was in such a depressed state. And so when they're asking me about, actually I was thinking about something different. I was thinking about going to Vegas because everything reminded me of my wife. My kids are grown now, so I'm not that concerned about them, but my wife. And so everything is reminding me of her. And so I needed to get away. So I thought about moving to Vegas and working in the casinos out in Vegas. And then and I actually took a trip out there a couple months before I came to Chicago. I took a trip out there to see it. I was like, man, I think I just want to do something totally different because, I met her at the casino. So it was just like, I want something different. And they asked me about Empire again. I said, you know what? Okay, I took a vacation day, drove out here because it's in Chicago. I drove out here, and they said, well, Terrence already has a stand-in on every day except Friday. They said, but on Friday, we need a stand-in for him. I just said, okay. And I came back home. I got in the car and started heading back to Detroit. I said, there's no way I'm about to leave my job at the casino making all this money for a job that pays me less than half, and you just want me to work 1 day a week? And so I was on my way back to Detroit, and they called me. And they said, can you come tomorrow? I said, okay. I took another vacation day, came back, and then they kept me for like 2 weeks straight, and I used up all my vacation days. But I loved what I was doing, and it was so exciting and so fun, and the job paid me less than half of what I was making. But again, at the time, all my kids were grown. I was single, and so it was kind of like, it's just me. Let me go ahead and try to do something I love. Instead of working for all these other people and taking care of them, they can take care of themselves now. Let me go take care of me. And I just made a jump, moved out to Chicago, stayed in the Airbnb until I could get my own place. And then and I've been here ever since. And then just things started happening even more. So and I was speaking. My kids reminded me. They said, Dad, you used to always say when you get older, you're going to look younger. They said, you used to always say you're going to live by the water. I did. But I thought it was going to be the water in Detroit. But I live by the water right now. If I showed you out my window, you're going to see this huge lake. And I also said that I'm going to love going to work every day. I remember you used to say, Snoop Dogg and Ludacris ain't more special than me. If they can go to work every day and love what they do, then I can love what I do. And so and my kids reminded me, and that's what I do now. I love what I do.
Brother, right there, you said something, and I'm going to tackle a couple things first. You hit a low point. You hit a point where you said that you felt depressed, and that was one of the questions about when you were at your lowest. But isn't that interesting that when we hit those low points, that's when that looking up part becomes something of your only choice? Les Brown says, if I fall down, let me fall on my back, because if I can look up, I can get up. But extending that out to other stories of what I call champion dreamers, people who hit that point. Sylvester Stallone said he had to sell his dog just so he could have the money for Rocky. He said that, look, they tried to buy the Rocky script from him, but he said, no, I'll sell my dog, and I'm going to believe in the script because I want to play that character. And eventually he got the dog back, and now we're doing Creed 2. But he believed in himself. That low point, how did that, in during that time, without getting too personal, or if you feel uncomfortable, during that low point period, what were some of your thoughts of quitting that turned into champion, turned into I'm going to fight? What were some things you thought about?
You know what? It was a painful time. Even as you're asking me this, you're bringing my mind and my heart back to that time. And it was painful. And it stayed painful for a while. It felt like gut punches, like somebody would just hold me and punch.
Hey, Richard.
Are we on Facebook Live already?
We are recording live, although I haven't seen it pop up in the timeline, but on my side it's showing that it's recording.
Okay, cool. I thought we said 10:30 my time, but that's okay.
Okay, well, we were just talking to William, and he was sharing a story about the energies, the thoughts, the ideals, what was going through his mind when he hit a low point in his life and started his transformation to following his dream. So, if you can, sorry, William, if you could pick up there.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, it was really a tough time, a painful time. I had readjusted my whole life, kind of like gave up my dreams, even though they were in the back of my head. I'm thinking maybe later, but right now I'm just working like crazy, provide for my wife. I'm happy we going on cruises and finally doing stuff now that my kids are grown. And I'm just thinking, man, life is good. It's getting better. We're in a good financial spot. Got a nice place downtown Detroit. We got nice cars. And for it to end like that, man, it just felt like a big, strong man just would haul off and punch me in my stomach repeatedly without my permission, and it would catch me off guard a lot of times. So I would try to regroup and think positive and think I'm gonna be okay, it's gonna work out, and then I get punched again. And really, I think I just started to learn how to roll with those punches because I couldn't make them stop coming. But I would just roll with the pain every time it would come, or the memory of what I lost and why I lost it and stuff like that. And I would just keep like rolling with the punches. And eventually my mind would just decide I'm going to survive this. I'm going to be better. I'm not going to let this get me down. And I just had to keep speaking positive too. I had to say it out loud. I would have to talk out loud to myself and say, you're going to be fine. Everything is going to work together for your good. All things, and I would just keep saying that to myself because sometimes the pain would speak louder than my thoughts. So I had to speak out loud out of my mouth and make sure I heard it, because if I'm thinking in my mind, sometimes that pain seemed like it was louder. And so I would say, you're going to be fine. Everything works together for your good. Even this is going to work together for your good. And now, as time has passed, I can honestly say that it did. But at the time, I was speaking in faith because I didn't know how. I just felt like my world had ended. So.
Wow. You know what, Richard, if you remember a couple shows back, you had mentioned about something to the effect of the importance of positive self-talk.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't look at it as so much as positive or negative, because there's benefits to negative too, I believe. Negative allows you to be able to see things a lot clearer sometimes. If you only think in positives, then sometimes you just kind of just be in a state that's not accurate. That's not the truth of reality. So, but I think at the end of the day, you got to find the positives out of every situation. So that's to me is important. It is a discipline. For me, having a discipline allows me to see the positive in things, both the negative and positive things of life. And once I can see the positive or the benefits of things, then my life starts flowing more positively. So yeah, but of course we always have a little bit of negative in life. I think that's a little natural. Yeah.
A little part of human nature, a little bit in there.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this then, Richard. Were you ever at a low point, Richard, where you had to tap into some kind of inner strength to use to pull yourself up?
Yeah, I definitely did, and I think my inner strength was actually an inner support network, and that's my family. Like my mother and my sister. When I was really down and out in life, I just really, I left LA and went back to Michigan for like a year, and I just kind of just bonded with my mother and my sister, and and then that right there, then I got really into like jogging. I jogged every day. That was like my discipline. I jogged. I worked it out with jogging. That jogging was my meditation and journal writing. But with the grace of my family and the grace of God, and it's the discipline of actually jogging and meditate and writing that really helped me get past my low point. It helped me see a situation that was kind of negative and see the benefits and the positive out of that situation.
Well, that's a part of our piece here is talking about how do you maintain. William, what do you do now to maintain your state or grow it?
Man, I do a lot of meditation, and maybe different people have different titles for it because I'm learning when I say meditation, people think different things. But mine is mainly positive speaking. I do this every day and sometimes several times. Depends on if I'm going.
Your audio dropped out. When he gets a phone call, his audio drops down. So
okay.
And I'm by the water too, because I think sometimes if I'm on speaker and because I'm by this water, it does that. It's weird.
There you go.
But can
I'm
you hear
right
me
by the
fine
Hudson,
now?
so I know what you're talking about.
Okay, all right. So, but I do a lot of positive speaking. I do a lot of telling what's going to happen to me, just like I did for this role. I would say I started in April. I would say I would go to the gym.
William, you dropped down again. You dropped down again.
Let me see. No, because all right. You hear me fine now?
There you go. There you go.
Okay. I would say, I would go to LA Fitness and work out, and I would get in the hot tub, and I would say, I have a role. I would speak it in the present. I say, I have a role on season 5 of Empire. I have a role on season 5 of Empire. I said, Taraji or Terrence are going to speak up for me. The other actors, did it go down again?
No, you're good. You're good.
The other actors, I would say they're going to speak up for me. I'm going to get a role. And all of a sudden, I'm on set, and then Terrence says, why y'all didn't give Will a role yet? Y'all need to at least audition him. Next thing I know, I got an audition. And so, and I actually did not get that role. It was for a police detective. And Jussie Smollett was, he was directing that scene, and I was in the scene with Terrence. And they said, Will, you killed it. You did a great job. He said, but the problem is, it looks like Big Terrence and Little Terrence are in the same scene. He said, I just can't see that. He said, actually, if we didn't have the Kingsley situation, and I don't know how much y'all know about that, so I don't want to give it away. But he said, if I didn't have the Kingsley situation, we could make that work. He said, but because of that, we can't do it. And man, it was so disheartening to me because they gave me this shot. I killed it. And then they said, no, you couldn't do it. And so again, I went back to my hot tub and I would say, all things work together for your good. You didn't get that role, you're going to get something better. Now, they hadn't told me any of this. I just saying it. I'm saying they just told me I didn't get that role. That was it. And they gave me the shot that Terrence asked for, and so it was done. And I just said, it doesn't matter. I'm going to get another audition. I'm going to get another role. All things work together for my good. It's going to work out to my good. Then I'm on set. They end up shooting that scene, and they used a white guy in my place to be the detective that I auditioned for. He didn't do as good as me. Even Jussie came up to me during the scene and said, man, I'm so sorry, guy. And then we had to give it to a white guy. He didn't do, and so I'm just speaking positive, hurt, and then I have to just regroup again. Like, it's okay. It's going to work out to my good. Next thing I know, maybe 2 weeks later, they call me up again and say, hey, we got another audition for you. I go in, and the lines are double the lines that it was for the detective. And even though they weren't as exciting, I wasn't as excited about them at first because the detective roles, it just seemed perfect for me. But this one even working out better. I was more featured in this one. It was, it wasn't in the scene with Terrence, but it was in the scene with Gabby and with Nicole Ari Parker and stuff like that. So it worked out. But again, these were a bunch of little punches in there, and I would just have to decide. I'm just speaking positive. It don't matter. And just like right now, they hired me, I got a role, and they fired me the same day. On the set, so I speak positive. I say it doesn't matter. They're gonna bring LeVar Smith back. All right, y'all picture just went out. Do y'all hear me?
No, you were good. You were good. I was trying to bring up the video clip from that scene.
Oh, okay.
Let's bring that up real quick.
Okay.
Here we go. Can you guys see it?
Not yet.
How about now?
I don't see it.
All right, let me come back out. Hold on. This
I heard it though.
You can hear it?
Yep, I can hear it. I just can't see it.
Okay, let me see. I'll play it. We do the audio. Let me try it again.
All right.
What did I do? Look when you should have been listening.
All right, that wasn't a good one, but as you know, social media blocked out the audio for a large segment of that video. But your piece in there, Richard, we were talking about earlier how cool it was that he got featured and unfortunately got terminated. But that's a part of what our campaign is. So if you guys don't mind, I'm going to do a quick commercial break for Mr. William Smith. Guys, what we want to do with the Infinite Mind Itself Live, we want you guys to get behind our friend William Smith. We want LeVar Smith to come back to Fox's Empire. So please tweet, Instagram at Empire Fox, at Empire Writers, at at the Brett Mahoney. I screwed that up, but I'm going to put everything in the link. We guys want you to tweet want you to go on Instagram so we can get LeVar Smith back on the show. He's our friend because today we're talking about believing in yourself. That's a component of self-actualization, and William represents somebody who had a regular life, making money and surviving, but then he decided to take something that in his life became a catalyst, a downside, but he turned into a positive, and he took that to follow his dream. And we want to encourage people the importance of following your dream. Richard, I know I said a lot, but what do you think is important, or share something about why believing in yourself is important, or some strategies to help a person believe in themselves?
For me, it is meditation. It doesn't have to be a certain type of dogmatic meditation. Whatever works for you to get your mind still, so you can come into your truth. Because at the end of the day, this is your life. So if you don't live in your truth, you're not doing a job that's not serving you, not serving your higher purpose. You're not being around friends that serve you in your higher purpose, or you're not with a spouse that's serving you in your higher purpose. You're cheating yourself out of this life. So you gotta. For me, meditating allows me to see the truth of my life, and then allows me to go for what I really need to go for. Like when you see your truth, when you see what's truthful in your life, in my belief, you have no other option but to go for what you really need to go for. So that's it. And for William, he through his meditative process, he was able to see this is what he really wanted to do, and this is it. This is his life. As Drake said, YOLO, you only live once. So he went for it. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, that's all you have is your truth. So, the money, the job security, all that is gone when you're on your deathbed. But did you really go for your truth in life? I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
I did not know until right now that that's what YOLO meant.
Yeah. You only live once.
I never knew.
Oh, man, we got to put you on the Drake lyric. He's like Shakespeare a little bit, so we got to put you on the Drake.
I'm a Drake fan, so most definitely I know the song too, but I had no idea that's what it meant.
Yeah.
You just educated me. I feel so ignorant right now.
Knowledge is power.
You gonna get your Detroit card revoked, man, if you don't know what YOLO means. Come on.
You ain't lying.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well,
that's what I do.
What'd you say?
Said I'm gonna act like it's an age gap. You know what I'm saying? I'm way older. That's what it is. I'm too old to know.
Exactly. Hey, you look young enough. You can play it either way. If you don't know it, you can say you're too old, or say, hey, nah, they too old, you too young.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
That is crazy. So, let's do something fun just for a little bit, because I do know people are interested in it, and we do want our show to be cool, and we try to identify guests. Tell us what's fun. Tell us something fun about working on the show. What's it like working with that group of people?
You know what? It's fun because the cast members they're real people in a different life situation than us, and so you kind of could, especially since I strive to be in their situation. You get to see their attitudes. You get to see stuff behind the scenes. When people complain about different celebrity stuff, but you get to see how people just treat you differently, and all of a sudden how people respond to you, and then you get to see how Terrence and Taraji or Trey or Hakeem or Jussie, whatever, or Yaz or Jussie, you see how they respond to people they work with, to the fans and stuff like that. It's a good lesson, and then not to mention because I want to be an actor, to see these actors actually act. You see the mistakes. You see how they deal with their mistakes, how they can get corrected, and how they do things differently than what's being asked of them. Just all the different things that you don't really know when you're just watching the show. How the stage is set up, how if they have a love scene, it looks so intimate, man, there's almost 100 people around them. And you're thinking they got to be getting turned on. Man, look, it's people so close to them that if they just reached over with their hand, they'll hit somebody. But you don't know that when you're watching it. You know what I'm saying? And so you're thinking that, they really turned on. Man, they're not turned on. Unless they like to be a porn star or something. People are everywhere around them with big old cameras and lights all over their head. It is crazy. But you never know that until you're behind the scenes. So seeing all that stuff is like a different world, and especially because I was a fan of Empire before I started working on the show, and so I watched it all the time. And so to go and see that all the stuff that I thought was fake, all the stuff that I thought was, it's totally different, So it's a weird thing. But they're really fun. They're lively. Taraji is hilarious. Jussie Smollett is hilarious. I mean, I'm just always cracking jokes and stuff like that. And it seemed like Terrence didn't like me at first. It was crazy. He would call me Terrence. He never even called me my own name. He would say other me or something like that. But now, I mean, he's really nice to me. He acts like he loves me, which is great. But just to work with these great stars and learn from them, and then to deal with their attitudes, especially once you're on good ground with them, it's really fun. It looks my Mondays are just as fun as my Sundays, and my Saturdays are just as fun as my Thursdays. It's, every day is great. I love that.
I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. Because you hear, I think Richard and I, we talked about it once before, how people dread Mondays or they put values on these different days, but when you're walking in your passion, your anointing, or your purpose, you don't have that same feeling.
Right. Yeah, people will be on set talking about, oh, thank God it's Friday. I'm like, oh yeah, it is Friday. I forgot. Hey, every day is good. I don't care. I'm excited when I got to go to work. I mean, I'm excited when I'm at home too. Life is good, man. I don't care where I'm at. Wherever I'm at joy, and I'm at peace. So that's what I love, and it's a blessing to me, and I'm excited about that. I believe that this is just the beginning. And so to think that I'm happy right now, and then my life is just going to get better, man, it gives me goosebumps, man. I'm excited. I mean, I'm really right now trying not to yell.
Hey, yell, brother. Yell it from the mountaintop.
Yeah.
Yell it from the mountaintop.
Yeah,
Well, I
man.
tell you, one of the most peaceful people I know and starting to learn is Mr. Richard. Richard, how does peace factor into believing in yourself and doing great things? Where's the role of peace in that?
Well, like I said earlier, everything in life is not going to be positive. You're going to have positive and negative. I think that's all part of the universal plan, but it's about how you react to it. And, I think once you cultivate that inner peace through whatever your discipline may be, and I do believe you have to have a discipline to cultivate inner peace. Then you can step into your truth in life, and then you can go for what's really truthful for you, your soul's purpose. And for Will, it's for him to be an actor. He had the corporate job and all that stuff. Especially in the Black community, that's like the upper echelon. You have a corporate job. You're an African American. You're just but that's not what that wasn't his soul's purpose. So he stepped into his soul's purpose, and then now he's really living life. And for me too, also, I went an unconventional way also by working in corporate America first, and then I realized that wasn't for me, and it was killing my soul. And then I stepped into my truth, and that allowed me to have inner peace, and having inner peace allowed me to step in my truth. It's a two-way street. So you have to have the holistic approach to develop the life that you really want to live, the life that your best life possible. So where Monday is Saturday and Saturday is Friday, it doesn't matter. Every moment is great. Every moment is full of purpose.
Wow.
Yeah, even when things kind of suck a little bit, you're still cool.
You're still,
So yeah.
you're still,
Something you said, Richard. You said you have to cultivate your peace.
Yeah.
When I tell people about what I do, how I live my life, because people are like, why you always smiling? Why you always this and that? Why you look young? I said, you know what? I said, one thing is that I don't stress and I don't stay in a negative space. I said, and their immediate response is, I tried that. It doesn't work. I said, what you got to understand is because when I say it right now, I say it so simply and so easily, you assume that it's always been that way, but it hasn't been. To work this peace up and this joy up, I had to curl the weights of it. And so I had to go through my pain, and I would have to get up every day and curl the weight of deciding I'm going to be at peace. I'm going to have joy. Today is great. I don't care what's going on. It is great right now, because at first I used to say every day is going to be great. And it seemed like every day was always, I'm waiting on it. But I started saying today is great. Every day is great right now. And I would curl the weight. And it was hard. It was painful. And it didn't always work. But just like regular weights, the more you curl it, the easier it'll get. And so what you got to do is you got to keep curling it, keep pumping that weight, and eventually it'll become natural. It'll become easy. And that 20-pound weight is nothing to you. You know what I'm saying? And so you just keep on curling. I have peace. I have joy. Life is good. And your words create something in the universe. It's like it comes to pass. You have what you say, like the scripture says. Be it unto you according to your faith, and you're going to believe it. Even you might even doubt it as you're saying it, but you keep saying it, you'll start believing yourself. And when you believe it, it's going to happen. And so when I say it now, I say it fast and easy, and so people think, oh man, it's just been easy for you. No, it was a struggle, and I just kept curling that weight, and so now it is easy to me. It's natural to me now. But I had to
Yeah.
curl some weights on that for a long time.
Yeah. You know, and that's an important point too, because like I think a lot of times people that, especially in day and age, we want the quick fix to a lot of things, but you have to put in the work sometimes. I mean, not sometimes, all the times. For anything that's worthwhile, you got to put in the work, and you have to go through the pain. You have to go through the resistance, so you can, and you have to go through the burn and the fire to get the real pure transformation. So so even when stuff is when you're down and out, you still got to put in the work, lift those bicep curls, say today's going to be a great day. Today's the best day of my life. Whatever it takes for you to transform that darkness in your life, you got to do it. You got to push through it. A lot of times people don't want to push through it and just keep up in life. And I think that's the key, just really just keeping up, even when sometimes you don't believe it. You kind of like just have to fake it till you make it. You have to still just keep up. And people, and it's tough. I know for a lot of people out there, it can be tough. So, because more primarily their perspective, and a lot of times because of life situations. But at the end of the day, I mean, I'm getting really deep. I know, and it's a little hippy dippy out there. But I believe that we live in kind of like an imaginary reality. It's about what you make out of life. So it's like the old nursery rhyme, life is but a dream. So it's always about your perspective. So if you had that perspective that everything's going to be good, everything's going to be the best day of your life, eventually your imaginary dream will become your reality.
Man, my pastor, he passed away. His name was Reggie Lane in Detroit
Yeah.
for Dunamis Ministries. He's something he used to say all the time.
That's where I know you
at the
from.
time. Dunamis?
I'm sorry. That's a Dunamis. That's where I
Oh,
know
man.
you from. All right, we'll talk about that offline. I
Mhm.
thought
All right,
okay. We'll
so-
talk about that offline. Go ahead. Yeah.
All
Go
right,
ahead.
so
Go ahead. I'll tell you about that.
He used to always say this, and I didn't get it until more recently in life. But he used to always say, "You never get what you desire. You only get what you focus on."
Mhm.
And I didn't really get it then, but now it makes sense because you want a whole bunch of things in life. But where's your mind at? What are you thinking about? If you're thinking negative stuff, you're thinking pain, unforgiveness, sadness, whatever, I'm broke, whatever you're thinking is what you're getting. Whatever your focus on is what you're getting. If you're thinking good stuff, you're getting good stuff. Whatever your focus is, bad, good, it doesn't matter. Your focus doesn't care. It's going to give you what you focus on. It's realizing that's what you want because that's what you're thinking about, and it's going to give it to you.
Exactly.
And so you want all these other things, but what you're thinking about is what the universe thinks you want. And so it's giving you that. And I remember I'm raised in church. I would always pray and ask and beg God for stuff. And it was like a 50-50 crapshoot. Some things you get, some things you don't, whatever. But once I remember reading Genesis, and it talked about, and God said, "Let there be light." And this is after I came to the realization that God is not my master and my king. And I know some Christians cringe when I say that, and I don't care. But he's not my master and my king. Jesus called him a father. And he said everybody before him saw God through a veil darkly. He said, but I'm the clear representation, and he is Abba, Father. And so when I started looking at God as a father, it changed my view. It changed even how I prayed. Instead of going in there and begging God, I realized my father spoke. He said, "Let there be light." He would speak things into existence. Now, if he's my father and I'm his son, I should be able to do the same thing my father does. And so I started speaking my life. And man, I'm going to tell you, now it's at like a 95%. If I say what's going to happen, I get it. Whereas when I used to pray for like 38 to 40 something years of praying, I would get 50-50. Some things I get, some things I didn't. Now, if I speak it, nigga, I get it. You hear me?
Yeah. Because you believe it whole. I believe because you believe it wholeheartedly. So maybe at first you didn't believe it wholeheartedly. Now there's no doubt in you. There's no doubt in you. So that's why you manifesting it.
Richard, I think I remember, I forgot if it was this week or last week, you had some great exercises for creating focus in your life.
Yes.
Okay, would you mind sharing that?
Yeah, I practice Kundalini Yoga, and it's taught by Yogi Bhajan, and we do this prosperity chant, where it helps breaks those limiting blocks that you have in your conscious and most importantly, your subconscious mind. And you say the word har over and over and over and over. It's like an auto-suggestion. And har in Sanskrit means, to release the blocks, to release the blocks, to release the blocks, to release the blocks. And so it's actually not even to release the blocks. It's just free, limitless, limitless, infinite, 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 infinite. Because I do believe in this. When you do give yourself auto suggestions of saying you're going to do things, you got to say things in the affirmative. Because if you say things in the negative, then all you're going to do is really attract the negative. You're going to say, like, I want to stop smoking. I want to stop smoking. You're not going to really stop smoking. You're focused on smoking. You're not focused on being healthy. So you should, and being clear and clean. So you should focus on, I'm going to be clean. I'm going to be clean. I'm going to be clean. I'm going to be clear. 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 So, with the power of auto suggestion, power of thoughts, I also think the power of journaling, I think those can really just help you manifest what you want in this life. Yeah.
And that's something that, for me, my auto suggestion and my positive is, because, I started my journey after we had our episode on self-love, so far I've cut out alcohol out of my life, and my morning meditation is I want to stay sober from alcohol because I want to have a clear mind and a healthy attitude, and I don't want to hinder and I want to be able to access my creator. So like you're saying, it's in the positive, and I think that's important when we're talking about the power of our words and our actions. So when we're talking about the power of our words, and we're talking about auto suggestions, affirmations, or anything of the like, and then matching that with our actions, people say fake it till you make it. I like it act as if. So now we align our words with our action. Then we have different routines, meditation, exercise, other healthy lifestyle habits, working those things together to continue to build ourselves up so that we can have the strength and fortitude to access the best version of ourselves. A part of the show, William, we said we wanted to bring value to people. We wanted to give them some tangible tools that they can take into their life. We're not reinventing the wheel, but we're bringing it to topic or discussion where most people, they may think it, they may have heard it, or they may sense it and not know what it is, but we want to put a label to it. And that is, you have to speak positive. You have to align your actions with the direction you're going in. Pastor Lane said is what you focus on. Then how do you create your focus? Your daily routines. I think daily routines are really good. And William, I want to hear your daily routine, but I'm going to start with Richard first. Because I know he had some stuff I'm not going to spoil it, but he had some things going on his website this week with morning routines. Richard, would you like to share, my brother? Please enlighten us.
Usually I wake up around 4 a.m. or 4:30 a.m. I know that sounds early for a lot of people, but I think I get more done before sunrise than most people get done the whole day. But the morning is where it's at. It's peaceful, it's quiet. I think the energies align perfect. So that's a good time for me to do my meditation. And I do my journal writing, which is really good. And what I do is called Orders from the Captain. And that's where you write down in your conscious mind what you want to give the orders to your subconscious mind. It's your subconscious mind that's controlling you for most of your actions and most of your thoughts. But sometimes if you give a direct order to your subconscious through your conscious mind, or this is at least what I believe, then you can be able to overcome a lot of those fears of poverty, fears of ill health, fears of losing love, and those are the three major fears right there. So I write my journal with my letter to the captain as being the captain of my ship, and then I eat my morning smoothie, usually kale, some dandelion greens, stuff like that. Really fresh organic vegetables and fruits with chia seeds. I take a cold shower, so it's good to go. For me, it's good to take a cold shower first thing in the morning. It helps me conquer the day. And then I kind of like map out my day. I envision my day because I'm all about organization, because I think organization is very important. So that you can have all the desire and everything, but if you don't have organization, it's hard to manifest in this world. So I organize my day, but still have fluidity in my day. And then I go through my emails and whatnot. Then I begin my day. If I have a client, or if I have to do web stuff, or if I got to do stuff with Kenya, whatever it may be. I go through it with just with I already conquered the day by spending that first hour of my day just meditating and connecting with the infinite or with God.
Wow. William, how do you? What's your morning routine?
You know what? And listening to him, my lifestyle will not allow that right now, and it's odd because the majority of my adult life has been like that, and I would be able to answer it differently because
back then because I did have that morning routine because I had to be to work every day the same time, blah, blah, blah. And I had kids or whatever was going on. There was still a routine. And I didn't actually like to not have the routine. It was kind of very uncomfortable for me at first to have it. But the way that I work, it fluctuates. I never, most of the time, I don't even know what days I'm working until maybe a few days before. I have no idea how long I'm going to be on set. I got off last night at 11:45 p.m. You know, and I had to be in at 5:30 p.m. The day before that, I had to be in at 5:30 a.m. You know, so and sometimes I'm working 14 hours. Sometimes I'm only there 2 hours. I have no routine. Nothing is regular with this job, and I love it. It's fine now. You know what I'm saying? It was just disheartening because I wasn't used to that, and it made me nervous because it was something I wasn't used to. But now I've been doing it almost 3 years. It's like I love it. It's no problem. So what I do is there's things that are constant in my day. That is my meditation time. I like to work out faithfully. So a lot of times I do it while I'm at the gym, but it depends on my morning, on my way to work. I cut the radio off now and I do my meditation and my speaking positive. I just do it at any time I feel like I might be stressed, anytime I'm doubting something. So there's no set anything for me. There's just a constant, I'm going to stay in this mindset. I'm going to stay positive. I'm going to stay at peace and joy. And anything that threatens that gets my meditation. And so even though my normal routine is when I go to the gym, whenever that is, depending on my day, when I go to the gym, I will meditate in my hot tub after my workout. I was sitting there until I'm done, and people think I'm crazy sometimes because I say my stuff out loud. I don't say it loud enough for them to hear it, but I say it loud enough for me to hear it. Now, if they're close enough to me, they're going to hear it, but I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I need to hear myself say this. And so I do that every day without fail, at least once a day. So again, it depends. If I'm feeling stress, worry, if I'm doubting something, I may do it again. If I just realize I got extra time, I'm realizing the value of just cutting my radio off and doing it in the car because it does something to help my day even more. It does something with my mood, and it does something with my faith. The more I speak these things, especially because I'm believing now that 95% of the things I speak happen. So when I start speaking positive things about my life, I know they're going to come to pass. And I speak them in the present just like they're already happening. And so it's just even more exciting to do it. It's getting to the point where I look forward to doing that now. So to answer your question about a routine, the only routine is to make sure that it happens. When it happens, I work out. I try to work out every day, even though I'm trying to ease up a little bit now because I'm realizing I stay sore. I don't want to stay sore all the time, so I'm going to ease up on the workout a little bit. But I just try to eat healthy, routinely every day, try to work out every day or take those days down, maybe like 3 or 4 times a week instead. But
your audio's falling out again.
And I meditate every day. Do you hear me again? And I meditate every day. And so I just don't. But as far as a set time, my life won't even allow that.
Well, then, so your lifestyle is more so about daily habits versus having a scheduled type of routine.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that's important because people have different things going on in their life, and that becomes an option for them. So, guys, we're going a little bit longer than I anticipated, so let's do a wrap-up here. First thing I want to do is, William, let's double-check your audio because I want you to give us your 30-second commercial on believing in yourself, the importance of it, your words of wisdom to anybody that's hearing you. But let's double-check your audio real quick.
All right, how we sounding? Do we sound good?
I want them to hear this.
All right. So, look, this is probably going to be a repeat of something I've said in an interview already, but I think that the best advice is some of the stuff we say might sound foreign. People have a tendency to think that the people who do that are just different. They just built differently because we're not necessarily talking about our struggle to do it. We just talking about how we do it and how we've gotten here, and we're here, and we say it so easily, just like I was abused as a child. I really was. And when I say it like I say it right now. And so you may think that he really wasn't, he didn't go through much because I talk so calmly about it. But if my brother, this 6'2" dude from Detroit, If he talks about it, you will see tears come to his eyes. He's big, huge, muscle-bound guy. But we just respond to it differently. But I'm healed from it, but I went through it. And it's the same thing when I tell you about speaking positive and staying in a peaceful mindset. And you may think it just comes natural to me, but I struggle. And I'm a lot older than I look. Like I said, I'll be 48 this month. And so there's years of struggling, years of pain, years of crying, and I'm not saying it takes that long because I didn't know what to do. But once I started learning what to do, all I had to do was keep doing it. And so the more I did it, the easier it became. But it was not easy at the beginning. I had to work at maintaining my peace. I had to work at maintaining my joy. I had to work at focusing my mind on what I want and not necessarily on what's going on. And you keep doing it. You keep curling that weight, and I promise you, you will achieve it. You will be at peace. You will be at joy. You don't have to beg for it. You don't have to ask for it. You just need to walk in it. You need to claim it. And you keep curling it, and it's yours. And I think that's the most valuable thing I can give you, because the Bible talks about inheriting the kingdom, and Christians are always thinking about heaven. But that's not really what the Bible is talking about. Almost every kingdom reference in the Bible is talking about on earth. And the Bible also says the kingdom of God is righteousness, peace, and joy in the Holy Ghost. You have righteousness, peace, and joy right now on earth. That is what Jesus came to give you. Up in heaven is not what the Bible is talking about. And that's a whole other subject. We can get into it, but that is not what he's talking about. He is not talking about you going to heaven. He is talking about you living your life right now. And you can have righteousness, peace, and joy right now. And that is something you have to walk into. And that is my greatest message that I want to spread.
Wow. Wow. We're gonna follow. I'm gonna hold you to that. We're gonna follow up on that one. Richard, believing in yourself.
Okay, so I'm gonna get all hippy dippy. I believe there's two of the most important things in our universe, and that's sound vibration, and that's the motion of love. And the sound vibration, that's the universal sound. So that universal sound is your thoughts, what you write down, what you talk, what you speak of. So if you want to be in line with infinite, if you want to be in line with God, you have to speak and talk, and think the things that are of God. And God is of love, of peace, of joy. It's heaven on earth. It's not heaven like waiting till you die so you can live in some type of brainwashed way. And I think that's what William Smith was trying to hint at. But no, you need to be aligned with that. And the second thing is love. That's the second. So our heart and our mind emits the two biggest vibrations that connect with the universe. And so our heart is love, or we can have fear in it. So if we have fear, usually it's going to make our mind think these negative thoughts of lack, of scarcity, of non-abundance, non-infinite. But if we have love in our heart, then usually our mind start thinking abundance and love and infinite, and we start going to our truth and start not having any fear about living in our truth and being truthful to who we are. So for me, it's always a two-way street. It's a holistic approach. You got to cultivate the love in your heart, but you also got to say the things, the affirmations, the right things, that believe in yourself, so you can be in vibrational alignment with the infinite. It's like, and I'll put this in the notes. Abraham Hicks, she talks about the laws of attraction, and that's really the keys of laws of attraction is about what you think, about what you say, what you believe, and what you feel. That's all we have as a human being. That's our vibrational machine, our heart and our mind. So we got to make sure we align with the infinite, or we align with fear.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes. As always, this has been a great time to hang out with you brothers. Richard, this is my trick to learn everything I can from you, and as well as from my guests, I'm trying to grow. So this is really schooling for me. That's what this is really about. Kenya getting educated.
We're learning from each other, Kenya. This is a think tank. This is what masterminds do. We form a think tank, so our sum can be greater than our individual parts.
That's right.
It is so true. It is so true. It is something that I'm happy that I had a chance to visit with you gentlemen this morning. I want to sum it up with our guests to let you guys know, one, thank you so much for listening to the show. Hopefully you'll see something in this show that's going to inspire you, encourage you, and motivate you. My takeaways from this show are that we have to understand that what we talk about, how we think, how we feel, how we look at our day, how we value our time, how we take into account that we are responsible for ourselves, our happiness, and our joy, but you can get help so long as you have those inner desires, you have realistic expectations, and that you really, at the end of the day, recognize that you can be whatever you think about. So, gentlemen, it's been great hanging out with you Saturday morning. William, we got to get you back on the show. Let me just run through it once again. Please go to Instagram or Twitter. Do at Empire Fox, at Empire Writers, or at the Brett Mahoney. That's TheBrettMahoney. I will list that in the comments. Please, guys, we want LeVar back. He's got to take his kids to Disneyland. They got to pay.
That's right.
And that's just wrong, man. That's just wrong. You got to be able to pay for kids.
That's right. That's right. And I feel like they really liked me, and they like me on Empire, and they want to bring me back. I feel like if I get a public outcry, just people speaking up for me, that'll push them over the edge to bring me back. And so, because otherwise, what's their benefit necessarily? Yeah, they like me, but I believe that if people are speaking up for me, if you guys reach out to them and touch them, then they will say, you know what, we're going to bring LeVar back. And I really appreciate that. That would be a great blessing.
I would definitely do it on my end. I know Richard has a great following his end as well. Like I said, we hit New York and California. We'll put it out there because one of the great things about it is that I love to see energy like yours grow, because so oftentimes we see people who do the other things to get attraction or attention or whatnot, and their behaviors and habits don't represent what we believe in. What I believe in, you do. So I want to make sure I send all that positive energy as well as action your way. We're going to speak it in right now that LeVar is going to get hired back. LeVar will be back.
You will.
That's right.
Yes.
So let it be written, so let it be done.
So let it be done. Richard, any closing words?
Be limitless.
There it is.
I like that.
We are ending now. All right, so that has stopped. Gentlemen, thank you. That was good.
Nice.
Pleasure meeting you, William.
Nice to meet you, Richard, man. You guys are, I love your intelligence, man. I didn't expect the interview to be like this. That was really good. Really good stuff. I like that.
And I apologize. I thought we said 10:30 Pacific time, Kenya. So I guess that's on me. And I just kind of had to wrap up some work. Now I'm just that's why I got in a little bit late.
Well, Richard, I apologize as well for not confirming, but I tell you what, William, thank you for staying a little bit longer, because for me, one of the values to the show is that Richard always brings a perspective to the show that we generally don't talk about. You hear us jokingly saying, hey, we might sound hokey, but we feel as though that we have to look at our world. Is he on or did he drop?
I don't know. William might have left.
Okay, you still here? Okay. All right, yeah. So Richard brings a different perspective. So thank you for staying on, after a little bit longer, so that we can make sure Richard's perspective is brought into the show as well.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. So I have to run. William,
Okay.
I'm going to connect with you through Facebook. If it's okay, I'm going to do a group chat with you and Richard, so for transparency, and then I tell you about what the next steps were. I already prepped you that we're going to do the audio. It's going to go on SoundCloud, and in the video, it's going to be on Facebook, and we'll probably re-show it a couple of times and take clips so that when we do the Instagram, Twitter campaign, we're going to keep driving that piece. If you have any other ats like @Cookie or @Lucious, whatever, let me know, and I'm going to create like a little cut and paste thing so I can keep it going.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. I sure will.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. What's that?
Oh, take care. I was like, take care, guys.
Okay, all right, take care, Richard. I'll give you a call tomorrow.
Okay, later. Bye.
Have a blessed one. Later.